John Corla. And Taoiseach, on a similar vein, can I ask you the specific question in relation to the ratification of any Mercosur deal that would be agreed? And can I ask you, would it have to come before the Dáil here, and can you clarify the situation in relation to any trade deal, and specifically any trade deal that would contain an offering of beef? More pertinently and urgently to the point, as the previous speakers have pointed out, Taoiseach, the EU's own cumulative assessment impact of trade deals indicated that a deal with Mercosur countries could lead to a €5 billion hit to the beef trade at European level, and that could be up to over 500 million here to our own domestic beef industry, and lead to a 16% cut in prices experienced by farmers who are already working below the breadline in relation to production and income. So can I ask you, Taoiseach, will you ensure that this is stopped in its tracks, and that message is conveyed very clearly to the EU Commission, because very simply the Irish agricultural sector and beef farmers cannot take this mooted deal?
Taoiseach, to deal with those questions.
Thanks very much. I think, like everyone in this House, I'm very aware of the extent to which beef farmers and the wider beef industry are under a lot of pressure at the moment, whether it's due to low prices or competition from other countries or climate. At the same time, it is an industry that is very heavily protected through trade restrictions and tariffs, and possibly one of the most subsidised industries in the country at present. When it comes to assessing any trade deal, just as was the case when it came to the trade deal with Japan or the trade deal with Canada, we have to consider what's best for the country in the round, not just economically, but also in terms of social policy as well, because there are other sectors that may benefit a lot from such a deal. But we do have particular concerns around a very sensitive sector, and that is the beef sector. As a consequence of that, I wrote a letter to President Juncker, along with the President of France and a number of other countries, expressing our strong objections to aspects of the deal, particularly in relation to the beef industry, and I think that's on the public record or has been published last week. On the particular issue of trade deals being ratified, my understanding is that any trade agreement is an exclusive EU competence and therefore wouldn't require ratification at all unless it's a mixed deal. But I'll get clarity on that for the Deputy and reply to him later.